Okay, hello, universe. Let me make sure that you guys can hear me. I think that you can. Hopefully, if not, then again, trials and errors. Trial and error, which again, it's a part of the universe. That's what we're all here for. That's what we're all lucky for. Kiwi producer, it is so nice to see you again. Thank you for tuning in into my live. You're definitely up late. What's going on? Well, then again, I don't know where you are, so maybe it's not late for you. It is kind of late for me, but there was something that was on my mind, and I did say that I was going to come back on live again. I thought I was going to be a little earlier, but I got caught up with some things and I didn't have time to stream earlier, but that is okay because again, presence is important. And sometimes you just can't be present until you can be present. So we are definitely thankful for that. And we are here. If you can't hear me in the chat, please let me know. I will work on the mic. I know that you guys really out there in the universe really don't say too much. And you know what? That's okay too. Because sometimes, as much as it is important to speak, you got to listen, says the person who rambles on over and over again. But again, like I said, I'm definitely grateful. I'm thankful that you're here. So let's get started. Um, as you lovely people have saw in the title, if you are watching the replay again, I am so thankful that you are here. And yeah, I can't thank you enough. The live people, the people watching the replay, I can't express to you enough how much I appreciate your time and energy that you're giving to be here. Um, if you don't know, I'm Knee Plus Ultra Universe. I practice mindfulness and I provide tips, and affirmations. And I'm hoping to help people to reduce their stress, to help find purpose, just to connect and work together, you know, as a community. If you're looking for connection, if you're looking for understanding, if you're looking for insight, that's what I hope to provide for you here. And also, I want you to know that that is mutual. I look forward to your insight. I want to know how you feel. I want to know what your experience is in your own personal realm of existence. And yeah, that's really what I'm interested in. So, again, if you notice the title, which of course you have, because that's probably why you're here, unless you got my notification, which is even better. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Um, I wanted to talk about the death, or at least the decline of creativity and why that is right now and what we're going through as people. Now, this is something from my perspective. If you guys are noticing the same thing, please let me know in the chat. Please share your thoughts and opinions because these are just things, again, that I personally have noticed. So, with that being said, let's get this party started. Um, and I'm hoping that this will encourage thinking and action as well. It's not just a rant, just by the way. It is ramblings, but definitely not a rant. Um, I want to encourage thinking and hopefully action that will support your creativity and the creativity of others. At the very least, I hope you find this entertaining because I'm very entertained. I'm not even going to lie to you right now. So, Before we start on the death of creativity, let's talk about why creativity is important and how it affects us. A lot of times, even though it's not to dismiss the arts and things of that nature, I feel like a lot of times when we talk about creativity, people tend to only focus on art, which is very important because, I'm definitely biased because I appreciate, I'm an art lover. Art is life. Art is part of the universe. Art is connection. Art bridges the gap in so many aspects. But with creativity, it also goes into and impacts your daily life, your job. It could affect your education and where you are in education. It adds richness to life, to the universe. It gives purpose and meaning in so many different ways. For example, in education, creativity encourages you to think outside the box. It even improves your performance and the way that you engage. If you're working on a project and you're finding the same information all over and over again, you can use creativity when it comes to sources, where you're citing things instead of going to this certain website or just going straight to Google or ChatGPT. You can say, you know what, maybe I can find this information from a program, old school, but encyclopedia. I can find information from a source, a person who's lived this experience. Maybe this is their job. Maybe this is their passion. I don't know, but creativity takes you to places that aren't just your standard. When it comes to your job or, your workplace, creativity can give you competitive edge, especially if you're chasing that corporate ladder, which, to each their own. But it can definitely give you that edge. It creates like unique solutions. Most importantly, effective and unique solutions. If a coworker says, "Hey, this is how we do this project," but if you're creative enough to streamline it in a different way or add different elements that enrich the project, that makes you different. That helps you stand out. The boss or the person in charge might say, "Oh my goodness, such and such added these things that we never even considered before. We were able to do this effective. We were able to cut down this time. We were able to improve this satisfaction. We were able to implement more changes to a project that made it better." And in that, you stand out in such a positive way. It is amazing. In your daily life, it can help you take a lot of pressure off of your shoulders. It could help you think of better ways to improve yourself, spend your time to add another quality of life that you maybe didn't consider before. Again, not just speaking in arts or crafts or things like that, but in a whole bunch of different ways that it takes something from within to get to that certain point, to get to that thought, to figure it out. And by all means, these things are possible through creativity. Creativity is such a beautiful thing, and that's why I think I felt like it was important for me to talk about. I understand that things improve, things develop, things change. But to me, creativity is one thing that should never waver. As humans, that's one of the ways, besides nature and the universe, that we have been able to evolve through our creativity, helping with survival. There was someone that said, yeah, we can definitely create a fire, but you know what's better than a fire? Safety, a place to contain the fire, a way to protect the fire from the elements. Yeah, we can go spend our time fishing, but you know it's an even better way? What if we, instead of just using a fishing line, we created a net? We weave a net together, and instead of creating one, or excuse me, catching one fish at a time, we can catch multiple. We can feed more people. We can save a bit of time. We're not really doing more. Like creativity is everything. Like I said, life, education, survival, evolution. How do we get here if it's not for creativity? How do we do things if we aren't inspired? When we see something and you say, you know, that's great, and I would add this or do that. It's it's just wondrous what creativity is, even through STEM, science and math. When you create a science experiment, of course, there's something that you want to solve, but it begins with curiosity, a hypothesis, a question. And sometimes that question curates and sparks creativity. I have this question, but how can I find this answer? What things do I have available to me that I can do to conduct this experiment, to learn more, to create more? It's just amazing to me that a lot of these things that are so vital to who we are as people seem to be, and I mean, again, correct me if you have a difference of an opinion, but they seem to be reducing and being lost through time. And it seems to be like it's been a very fast. I felt like we went through all these eras and ages of enlightenment, renaissance, like all these things, and now it almost seems, I don't want to say stagnant, but dormant. But I want to go into, and we will get there as to why I think that is my good old opinion. But I want to keep going on to why creativity is important, because when you see its importance, you can see why the death of or decline of it is so detrimental, and why we need to work as hard as we can to keep creativity flowing and going, that energy moving throughout our universe, and how good it can be. Because again, creativity in daily life into all these different facets that we talked about, it provides a way of non-linear thinking, and you are able to tackle challenges from different angles, outside of the box, which is a very popular term. But again, outside of the box is so underrated. That's how cures are discovered. It's like I said, it's just amazing to me. As a person, I think I've mentioned this in my last YouTube live. My YouTube is one of my creative outlets. Like I said, I have a purpose here. But I would be lying to you to say that I love the creativity of it, sharing and expressing my thoughts, creating thumbnails, writing scripts, just updating things. It's so interesting, and it takes me away from my daily comings and goings. And not that those are bad, but it just provides another outlet. And the great thing about my YouTube is, with my outlet, hopefully, because that is my purpose, that is my mission, that is my goal, through my own creative outlet and insight, I'm able to help other people or at least establish connections, which a lot of people are yearning for. And that's a great thing. It's human, and that's what we are, like it or not. The other great thing, again, human emotion, is that we have so much going on in our life. We're constantly plugged in, and daily, no, correction, hourly, it feels like there's always something going on. There's always something happening. And as many positive things are going on within our universe and our world, we're flooded by negativity. We're flooded with bad things. And that is the reality. I'm not saying that you shouldn't pay attention or understand what is happening. But it's like we're being overtaken by those things. And through creativity, it helps your well being. It can reduce stress and anxiety. It associates, or, it can be used for a better understanding or even like your emotional regulation. It can give you more self confidence. If you don't have any, it could just give it to you, period. And increase overall happiness and satisfaction with yourself and hopefully your life. You can discover hidden talents or passions, things you never knew before, because that creativity opened the door for your self expression. And again, connection to the world, connection to the people around you. People who may not be able to express themselves creatively. You can motivate and give these people hope, give them what they're looking for. It's amazing. It drives adaptability. Like I told you, even with our own evolution, it promotes personal growth, and it helps find new meaning or meanings in your life. Like I said, I do have different creative outlets, but by this creative outlet, it gave me another meaning in my life. It gave me the ability to want to help. I mean, I do want to help other people, but to actually help other people just by being creative. It keeps your mind active. It helps you with curiosity. I've learned so much more about YouTube and editing, creating with my channel. There were things that I've never had in my search history before, but it sparked a curiosity in me to want to be the best that I can be in this, to be creative as I can be with this, to learn how to do things. It's just really amazing. And I love it. And like I said, I'm so thankful. And I'm thankful again for you. I'm sorry if I keep stopping to say how thankful I am, but I really want to express the importance of expressing gratitude and thanking those who are present. That's a major thing. And I can never thank you all enough. So, while we're going on that, let's see. I see that we have 3 people here. Thank you so much for coming. I believe Kiwi Producer may be one of those people. Kiwi Producer, if you're still here, thank you again for leaving that comment. Hello, hello, hello. I hope you don't mind that I have your comment highlighted. I'm not trying to put you on blast. And like I said, if you have anything, let me know. Please, please, please. So, now that we've talked about why creativity is important, at least to me, I don't know if you all agree. Let's get to why I think that creativity is dying. I think the most obvious thing that most people can relate to, and we can probably all agree on, is just society in general. Society, especially in different like structures, let's say work, education, again, family, because even though we love family, when you are in a culture or in a family and you operate one way, we're conditioned to keep with that conformity because a lot of time conformity, excuse me, provides safety. It provides comfort. It provides acceptance. Most people, unless you're the lone wolf type, don't want to be labeled as an outsider. So when somebody says that generally you're not going to take a risk, you're not going to put yourself out there because there's an old saying, and I'm pretty sure you all have heard it before. The nail that stands out gets hammered down, or something along those lines. When you're different, usually you stick out. And those are the people who are hammered down the hardest. It takes a certain type of person to be okay with being labeled as weird. As a weird person myself, I get it. Ask yourself, when's the last time you saw a person, a group of people who challenge the status quo and are rewarded for it? People in the chat, I will wait. Drop your answers below. Because unless it's the majority, most of the time, people who challenge the status quo are not rewarded. Usually, they're ostracized, they're outcasts. You're weird. You're not like us. You're different. Who wants to be that? And that's quite understandable. But the thing is that it cuts off the energy, it cuts off the creativity. It's no longer something that is cool or a good thing for you. It's something that becomes scary because you don't know where that leaves you within that group or that culture or in society. Nobody wants to deal with that. But it's important to stand out against those things. It's important. And I'm not saying to just start stuff with people or just to be anti-culture for the sake of it. If your creativity, especially if it's something that's positive or it's something good, let's take that example at work. If your company runs a streamline and that's streamline A, and we only go down streamline A, and let's say that the person in charge is the one who implemented streamline A, are you going to be the one to say, hey, actually, I've thought about it, I looked at things, I've tested this, and I found that B is better? Yes, person who was above me in a position of power, who implemented this system, who streamlined this system A, let me be the one to tell you that it's not as efficient as it could be. Let me be the one to tell you that I have something better. Let me be the one to tell you how I can improve on the thing that you've been doing, you created for the last X amount of years. Again, I'll wait. I'm going to take a sip of water and I will wait. You let me know. Let me know who wants to do that or be that person. What are the risks associated with that? If you're in education, let's just say not even like school aged, but I remember And I'm sorry if you don't mind allowing me to have an antidotal moment for a minute. I remember being taught about a story in elementary school about George Washington cutting down a cherry tree. I can't remember the specifics of the story, but it talked about George Washington or even Honest Abe. I could never tell a lie. These things are told to you as facts. But what happens to the person that tells the teacher and raises their hand? No, that's not correct. What happens when you're in a college course and your professor is teaching you incorrect information? Are you going to be the one to stand up in class and say, "Excuse me, professor, actually, this information is incorrect, and I would like to object"? No, no one is going to do that. So that's why it goes back to not being rewarded and being scared to actually say, "This is how I feel. This is what's going on. Let's get creative. Let's think of something." And maybe the story with George Washington isn't a good example of creativity, but it speaks towards going against authority, history, and societal claims and structures. The risk is hardly ever worth the reward during those times. But again, this is hard. I feel like another reason that creativity has died is because things are just decided and provided for us. Like creativity isn't really encouraged anymore. Like there's no encouragement to seek things on your own or to create an answer for yourself. Now, or at least, in the present, it's like this is what I've given, this is what has been given to you, and you need to run with it. That's it. If I say, "Hey, I want you to create a presentation," and you can do whatever you want, but this presentation has to include, I don't know, a set standard of things. You can't add your own elements. You can't add your own ideas. Where's the encouragement to create or find your own answer or to do things yourself when you're already provided a structure? Instead of saying, "Hey, this is what I want. I need it to be this long," but go wild. As long as it addresses what I asked you to address, you're good to go. No, that's no longer something that's an option for people. That's no longer something that works for people. It's not, yeah, it's just not what it is. And also like even our education, unless you're doing like a specialty class or you're doing your own courses, even in elementary school, creativity and like outlets in education, that stuff has been limited. Now let's talk about it. STEM is everything. STEM is so important, but I feel like it should be a collaboration between STEM and creativity and arts. Because when you're out there coding or solving the world's math for the universe and space, shouldn't there be a bit of creativity within that? I know that math is set and math has its own rules. I get that. But when you're creating formulas or figuring out ways again to solve problems, doesn't that creativity come into play? Isn't that helpful? Isn't that what we want? Why aren't we encouraging these things? Why is it? I'm asking you, chat, why aren't we doing this? Why? I'm going to allow you guys to dwell on that for just a little while. I actually want to get some water. I'm sorry I did not prepare properly. Please forgive me. As I mentioned, for me, it is a bit late. This was kind of just sitting on my soul, and I wanted to express myself. And my mouth is dry, and I don't think I'm doing an adequate job. So I'm going to put on my weird give me a moment message. And I'm going to be right back. And we're going to pick up where I left off. Excuse me, like you can tell, my throat is dry. So please bear with me for one moment and we will continue. Okay, if you are still here with me, thank you so, so much. I really appreciate you. My water intake has improved. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Again, I'm still getting used to going live. I'm normally a pre-recorded content creator, but again, thanks to our keyword of the day, creativity, I am working more on doing lives and trying to connect with those out there in the universe. So, again, thank you, thank you, thank you. The gratitude is overflowing for those of you, again, who are tuning in with me live right now, and for those who will listen to this replay. Just a side note, I know that there are larger channels out there, but you guys have been amazing. I haven't made a video for 2 years. I'm sorry, I'm pulling up my YouTube analytics, but I have not been live. I mean, well, my first live was just, I believe, on Friday. Besides a reel, I haven't put out a recorded video, which will be dropping. So please, please, please like, subscribe, turn on that notification bell. Let me be a YouTuber. Please, please, please. But any hoozle, my first live stream, and again, I don't want to be braggadocious. Thank you, universe. Thank you, viewers. But I had 18 views, which to me is amazing because I honestly figured I would get zero. Like I said, the two people who are here, thank you so much. If I didn't think that anyone would show up, I told myself I was going to put in the work and I was going to speak to those out there and whoever was receptive of the message. And I appreciate those of you who are, those 18 people who are. My stream before this one, it had 11 views, and I'm like, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. So, again, I can't be more elated. I know that as time goes on, my lives will be better and better. I promise you that. I will continue with interesting topics, and I'm open to your thoughts and ideas. And hopefully, we'll get more and more of those as time goes on. And speaking of which, okay, we have another comment. Kiwi producer, you are a freaking rock star. I don't remember you in the last stream, but I know for sure you were in my first stream. And now you're in this one. Thank you so much just for commenting. I, again, I don't want to be a cornball, but I'm just so appreciative of your energy. I'm so appreciative of your view, your time, and your presence. So if you are still there, please let me know again. So what Kiwi producer says is that their stream is delayed, which I get it. Internet, YouTube, I don't know where you are. Good connection, bad connection. The stream is delayed, but your presence is not. Again, the stream may be delayed, but Kiwi producer, your presence is not. And Kiwi producer says, I think the problem is AI. Kiwi producer, that's actually a great point. And you've read my mind, honestly. So let's talk about AI. AI and automation. I feel like, yeah. AI and automation has definitely taken a lot away from creativity, but To be fair, I think it's also added to creativity when it comes to a lot of things as well. I feel like it's like that double-edged sword because with AI, a lot of times it's just stealing from someone else's creativity. It's just taking their style, taking their ideas, taking their content, taking their dances, taking their, like, just taking a lot of things and repurposing that those items. And that's where it definitely limits creativity and you don't think for yourself or you don't want to create for yourself. But the good thing about that is that about AI and automation is that if used as a tool for your creativity, it can be helpful and time saving and it can do things that you may not be able to do for yourself. For example, and I'll just take YouTube for an example. I haven't figured it out yet. I'm not necessarily a fan of AI, but again, I don't want to downplay AI because it's here. It's just what it is. It's a part of our evolution. It's what we're using at this time. And like I said, it's not necessarily a bad thing. Just like with social media, it's how you use it. Because social media in itself as a tool is wonderful. It can promote business, it can promote creativity, it establishes connection, it introduces people to other realms of existence, other cultures, what's going on. But at the same time, when it's used just for, I guess, doom scrolling, negativity, trolling people, um, doxing someone. And again, I know that there are different reasons why someone would dox someone, but just to dox somebody because, I just don't like that person. That's not really a good use of social media or technology as a way to connect and things like that, right? But AI again is one of those things where it can definitely be a stealer of joy, a stealer of energy, a stealer of creativity. It can definitely be the thing that's detrimental. And I just feel like that's for the person. But going back to what I was saying, I do apologize. If you wrote a script and you used AI to edit that script, okay, that's a great use of AI. That's a great use of technology. If you don't know how to edit a video, I mean, granted, I feel like the better way would probably to be watch somebody's YouTube channel or go to an article there they're providing instructions because you're getting that directly from the source who put that energy, that time into that education. But if you go ask ChatGPT, hey, how do I edit a video? How do I add this sound effect? Where can I find these things? I don't think there's anything wrong with that if you're using it as a catalog of information. Now, granted, that information may not be correct because I'm also learning that AI a lot of the times is wrong or can be misleading, which is why a lot of it may be better just for you to put in your own work for those things. But I feel like it definitely does have its place. And most importantly, I feel like, again, and thank you for that comment, Kiwi producer. I feel like it's not just the AI that has messed things up. It's, again, going into social media. I love social media. I love YouTube. I use Twitter. I use Instagram. Um, I use Pinterest for research, for ideas, for connection, inspiration. But when you're connected 24/7 and you just have an overload of stuff coming from all directions, it really doesn't leave much time for reflection in yourself, what you're doing, where you are, what you're producing, who you are. And it definitely doesn't leave time for your mind to wander, to be free, free thought thinking. It takes that away because you're just consuming at that point. Consume, consume, consume with no output, or the output is just, it's just very limiting. And I feel like that's where you come into the downfall of social media. And I mean, not the downfall of social media, because that was a drastic saying, but that's where social media can be limiting when you lose that ability for reflection or for your mind to wander, because you're just constantly being fed. Consume more, buy this, do that, instead of thinking of ways to help, get more time, gain more knowledge. You're sold a program that tells you, do this and you'll gain more knowledge, do this, but it's not necessarily that. It's what you're being fed, it's what you're consuming, it's what you're doom scrolling, it's what you're being served. And it's happening all the fuck, oh, excuse me, I'm so sorry, all the time. I'm sorry, that was my passion coming out. All the time. When you have something just like almost being downloaded into your brain, it reminds me of, I believe the movie was Batman Begins. It had Tommy Lee Jones as the Riddler, no, as Two-Face, and Jim Carrey as the Riddler. And they had a mind machine where it would just, it was supposed to show you everything and it had everybody connected. But really, all it was the Riddler sucking all your information and putting it to his mind so he can be all knowing, almost like these corporations are today. But I'm not going to put on my tinfoil hat just yet, because we are going to stay with creativity and the subject at hand. Okay, because I'm trying to do better, you guys. Like I said, I haven't had any feedback, but just listening back to my previous lives, these are just notes that I've taken for myself to try to be better, to have like not go off tangent as much, because I do have a tendency to do that. Like I told you, I feel like with these lives, I have to kind of envision having a conversation with someone. That's where my creativity has also come in. Because being a person just speaking into a mic, that has been a challenge for me. But again, through trial and error, through accepting creativity and being open, I truly feel like I'm getting better, and I hope that you guys do too, because that's definitely what I'm feeling. So yeah, I feel like just always being connected, always being plugged in and consumed, it really it just doesn't. It just doesn't allow. It doesn't curate an environment for creativity. And on top of that, let's even go back to the AI that Kiwi producer was talking about. It takes the fun out of a challenge. When you have to figure out how to make something happen, as frustrating as it may be, when you do figure it out, or if you come up with some type of solution, it is one of the most satisfying things. Satisfying things. Imagine you having to problem solve something. You're moving. You have that odd shaped couch from IKEA. You no longer have the Allen wrench that came with it. So you don't have a way of breaking down that odd shaped furniture. So now it's time for you to get creative. Work those angles. figure out, how am I going to get this out of here? Or even better, what tool can I use that's not an Allen wrench that may give me a similar end result? Something that will allow me to complete this task, use the resources around me, figure out what's going on. You know what? Maybe the front door isn't the best option. Maybe it's best to just go over the balcony or out of the patio. Maybe we can unscrew this piece with a piece of gum, and I don't know. I'm just making up stuff now, but I think you get the point. When you aren't able to figure out that solution, and then you just say, you know what, I'm just going to go and purchase. I'm going to take that hour out, and instead of trying to figure out the solution or utilizing my creativity, I'm just going to go purchase an Allen wrench. Or you know what, I'm just going to break the furniture and get a new one to move. It's useless now. It's not important to me. It's such a waste of resource. And I don't love that for us. I just want more and more for us. I want us to come together and celebrate creativity. Creativity is so important. And I hope that instead of dying, it is more dormant. And I feel like in these times and what's going on around us in the world all day, every day, as we age, as we encounter issues, as we encounter challenges, that we're just able to create more as a tool and just figure out solutions for ourselves to reduce the stress, to curate passion, hobbies, meanings, just to get more out of what we're able to receive. And I feel like a lot of times, just allowing your mind to wander, to look at yourself, to be willing to take a risk, even the smallest, most safest risk, is better than what we are presenting or what we have now. But I'm looking forward to what the future holds. I know that I'm lucky, like I told you guys. Right now, I'm happy within my life. I'm not happy with a lot of the situations that are going on in the world. I'm not happy for the people who are suffering. But I can say that, at least by working on myself and keeping myself from negativity, that I'm not putting poison out into the world and creating more problems for people who are already experiencing those problems, period. I don't want to be a detriment to those who are already going through so much. I want to be a help. I want to be a support system. I would like to be an ally. I want to connect, and I'm hoping that you guys do too. And just like my other lives, time flies when you are having fun speaking and sharing your thoughts to the universe and to your listeners and your viewers. It's already been an hour. Goodness gracious. Goodness gracious. Um, I can say that the more I do these lives, I truly, they're getting, like, they were fun when I first started, but I was very nervous. Like I told you, I thought I was going to have 0 viewers because who wants to listen to me? And I can say that at least 2 of you live want to, and 18 of you total want to. So, I mean, again, just so grateful. So I'm going to go ahead and start wrapping this live up. I have a couple of things that I do want to finish for the video I will be dropping. Please give me your feedback. Please let me know what you think. It is my first pre-recorded video besides my short that I've dropped in like 2 years. I am hoping that you will enjoy it, but again, I'm allowing myself to be creative. I'm allowing myself to try to help. I'm allowing myself to be present. And that's all we can ask for. Without risk, there usually is no reward. And that's again where creativity comes into play. I've already accepted the fact a long time ago that I'm weird, and I'm just okay with that. So let's do a quick recap. I'm Knee Plus Ultra Universe. I'm a person or a practitioner of mindfulness, and I'm hoping to provide tips in my and also in my affirmations and hope soon meditations. I want to help people reduce stress and find purpose, or at least a passion, a community, a connection. I want to thank you all, the live viewer, the replay viewer, for joining me. If you've enjoyed my content thus far, please, 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 if you want to support my channel, please subscribe. Please give this live a like. If you really, 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 really enjoyed the content, I would definitely appreciate a share. And if you are going to share it, definitely share it to someone who may benefit or find it useful. If you guys just want to listen to laugh at my voice, that's fine too. But again, I'm hoping to help and establish connection, reduce stress, and find purpose for those out there who are needing something, no matter what that may be. So, thank you guys again. You'll definitely be seeing more live streams. You'll be seeing more content. I look forward to connecting with you all again sometime in the future. Please stay creative. Please stay safe. Please stay mindful. Please stay grateful and express that gratitude. Express it to your friends, your family, the people that you love. Express gratitude towards the universe for where you are right now and where you will be. I'm Knee Plus Ultra Universe, and we'll see each other soon again. Kiwi producer, thank you again. You're amazing.